Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Stargirl Season 3, and this is going to be my trailer breakdown for episode 12 for this season, the second last episode ever of Stargirl, otherwise entitled The Last Will and Testament of Sylvester Pemberton. But of course, before we get into anything else, let's actually watch the trailer.
You need our help.
I don't want your help.
We need the staff.
I'm not giving it to you.
The staff belongs to me.
So last episode, held the build up to the end of this season, including this, episode we're going to go over the trailer for, with everyone else finding out about Icicle's return as well as the fate of the Crocs as well. Icicle sort of plays it off as if he's like changed and wants to help, though people know that he killed the Crocs. But Sylvester just doesn't trust him at all. Just like, no, he killed me. He killed so many people back then, and since during the events of season 1, I don't trust him at all. And he has some backing up, as the end of the episode shows us Icicle meeting up with the Ultra Humanite, and that it's time for the next stage. Now, what that next stage is will be very interesting to see play out, and I don't think it's going to be very friendly. But of course, before we get into the actual breakdown of the trailer, we will quickly read out the synopsis or description for the episode, as it does give us a bit more context as to what's going on. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions about everything leading into this episode, what you're looking forward to the most, any theories, predictions, stuff like that. Let me know in the comments. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, looking forward to this episode, want to show support, why not drop a like on the video to do all that? Solo mission. As the team devise a plan to deal with their latest threat, Sylvester takes matters into his own hands and leaves Courtney, Pat, and the JSA fearing for what comes next. Now, firstly, I have to say this. I was incredibly confused when watching this promo at first, because it said only one episode left, and I was like, wait, what? And then like a few seconds later, it eased my confusion, if not completely wiped it out, when it said before the season finale. Interesting, they haven't put series finale, just have season finale, because that's what it will be. It'll be the series finale, last episode. Now, maybe the trailer was made before that cancellation news was made public. I don't know. Yeah, question mark on that one. But yeah, this trailer is pretty much as spoiler-free as they can make them, I think, except for the fact that Sylvester takes the staff of Courtney, and it complies, which obviously won't sit that well with Courtney. That's what they are showing us. Which I guess spoils that moment, I guess. But we of course lack the context of the events leading up to this moment, so it doesn't really show everything. Because everything in this trailer seems to be from like a, 5-minute portion at the most from this episode. From Sylvester yelling at Pat in the basement about, going after Icicle. He is suited up in that scene. And then him taking the stuff from Courtney near like some door at the house or something like that. So it seems like it's within a little portion of the episode. Don't know if it's in the middle, towards the end, towards the beginning. Not too sure. I mean, Sylvester was on edge at the end of last episode. So it could be like literally 10 minutes after the end of last episode. So it could be towards the beginning of this episode. But yeah, it's hard to really tell from that little snippets in the trailer. But yeah, this episode, based off not only the trailer, but also the synopsis for the episode, does make it out to be a very heavy Sylvester episode for the most part. But of course, the title of the episode, that being The Last Will and Testament of Sylvester Pemberton, sort of highlights that even more. And you would assume that the episode title does hint at Sylvester maybe dying in this episode. However, it could just be suggesting that Sylvester feels what he is doing is worth dying for, and maybe even tells people when he's leaving, whether it's Courtney, whether it's Pat, whether it's everyone, like as if he's telling them as if he's going to not return. You know what I mean? Now, it is important to remember that this season, Sylvester has been trying to find his purpose and why he was the one JSA member that was revived. Like, why wasn't Wildcat spared or came back? Or Green Lantern? Like, Green Lantern's children there. Why not bring back Green Lantern? Like, why him specifically? And this could be him believing that this is what he was brought back to do. This was his purpose. To save Blue Valley, to save this next generation of heroes. It could be something like that. Also, there could be a revelation about his revival and more specific stuff about, why it happened and maybe who was involved, if it wasn't that whole vague reasoning involving the staff and that connection there that was put out there earlier in the season. If that was just like a theory that just didn't really make sense and they actually properly explain it, that could maybe, connect to things even more. Now, there aren't any promo images out for this episode at this point at the very least, though I don't know if they would actually release too much and actually show much, seeing the trailer is keeping everything hidden for the most part as well. So I just thought I'd bring up some things that need some answering or completing for this season, considering this isn't only the end of the season, but the end of the show, seeing season 3 will be it. And of course, they didn't know that when they were filming it, but hopefully they still wrap things up with a decent sized bow on top. Now, the first one is the clear one because we haven't had this character in the last episode at all, and he was only in like 1 or 2 scenes in the previous episode before that, and that's Rick. Now, he's had this hourglass issue. It's obviously affecting him physically and mentally and stuff like that. So that's something that definitely needs to be resolved. However, it makes me wonder if this was a plot line that might have been leading into something in season 4 as well, because I don't know if it'd be something that just quickly resolved. You think it might be something that would have bled over into the season 4 storyline. So I would like them to resolve the hourglass thing, but I just don't know if they will 100%. And the main reason I think that is just because Rick hasn't been in specifically the last episode, but really over the last 2 episodes, he's only been in like 1 or 2 scenes as a whole. So that for some reason just makes me think it's going to lead into season. It would have led into season 4, so it won't be resolved by the end of season 3, which I guess will be a bit disappointing, but we'll have to wait and watch that one and see what happens. Now, Cindy's problem is something that's sort of taken a back seat. Like, we knew she was having all these issues where she was like slowly turning into like what her father was with the whole scales and everything, like the whole Dragon King stuff. That hasn't been really properly addressed since that, but Cindy has teamed up with Mike and Jakeem last episode. Maybe she's able to find the lab, connected to her father that maybe wasn't on the list. Maybe Sylvester knows where it is. Maybe Icicle or Ultra Humanite knows where it is. And that's where the solution for her issue is lying. Maybe that's what's going to fix Cindy's issue. Have to wait and find out. But Cindy's problem is something that I could see being resolved this season. I don't know if they would have left that to bleed over into the potential season 4. That's now not happening. But yeah, that's something that I would expect to be wrapped up by the end of the season. This next one, I would say, I think it has to, just because it feels like it's a part of this story for this season. That's Cameron. He's like morality. Like, is he a villain? Is he a hero? Or is he somewhere in the middle? I think that has to be addressed. Now, I think the way that they would address this is him choosing a side, whether he sides with his dad or sides with the JSA in these final 2 episodes, or more specifically the finale for this season. You'd think that's where they're going to make that decision as well. Now, Icicle Jr. in the comics has been on both sides. He's sort of like an anti-hero of sorts, or I don't know, like just sort of flip-flopped. So they could go either way. It's not a set destination based off the comics, so that'll be a very interesting thing to see. The fact that he was defending his father last episode, but I think deep down he knows that his father has done some messed up stuff, and he was probably just more disappointed that maybe like his just father wasn't around, or yeah. I have a feeling he's going to be a hero. That he's going to side with the JSA. But then once again, with Stargirl, you don't want to predict too early what's going to happen, because they'll chuck a twist or two in there. And the last one, which we sort of referred to earlier, and I'm not too sure if they'll really do it, because they could just go back to that vague reasoning that we got early in the season, and that's what really happened with Sylvester. I do wonder if there's anything deep down. There is a big theory out there from a couple of people, different people have said it, where he's involved with what's going on with Ultra Humanite and that storyline there. Like, because that whole vague reasoning where like, oh, the cosmic staff, you activated Courtney and then it activated me. Like, yeah, but you also got like severe injuries, and we've seen when he got thrown up in the air, like he still took a while to recover, and like I just don't know if like that makes 100% sense. You have to think there's some other thing there, so it makes you wonder whether there was some experimental stuff that went on and he just can't remember it, and it just seems like it's very convenient that he showed up towards the end of the season of season 1, when maybe Dragon King was still alive and he could have been doing some stuff. You gotta remember, like during season 1, Dragon King was doing some weird like surgery stuff that was really never fully played out on the show, because of just some stuff that he was doing behind the scenes. And it makes you wonder if that was connecting to some storyline that maybe isn't specifically with Sylvester, but something that could involve him and why he came back from the dead. That'd be very interesting. Like, that'd be very interesting to see if that's what's going to happen there, and sort of make things go a bit full circle. Because though this episode might suggest Sylvester's going to die, I don't know if he will, but also I think this would be the only season where Sylvester was a main character, I think Sylvester wouldn't have been in the potential season 4, at least in the size role that he was this season. But yeah, I do wonder if they're really going to explain what happened with Sylvester. And this episode, which is Sylvester focused, I think it'll be a pretty good time to do that. But yeah, guys, that's it to talk about in this video. If you enjoy the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions heading into this episode, what you're looking forward to the most, any thoughts and theories, especially about the stuff that I just talked about then in regards to what they need to sort of hopefully wrap up before the season ends. And yeah, let me know all that in the comments. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.